Welcome to the Ask Domnat Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. Fastest 30 minutes of your day to make you an overall more informed person. My name is Dominique Pereira, but you might know me as Ask Domnat. And today, we have a show. We have a special show. I am excited. It's February. If the first 31 days of your month didn't go as planned, my goal is to help you get the next 28 to go in order. And as a matter of fact, a little teaser, the next 90 days, I'm here to help you. And I didn't know how, but I'll show you. So let's get into today's rundown. Let's get into February 2nd rundown. The Ask Domnat Show. TikTok, in case you didn't notice, had a rollout this weekend. It sold to an American-based company owned by Larry Ellison or controlled by Larry Ellison, a couple other billionaires in there. I am not on that list. I did not get the invite. So but some people had issues. Some people had issues, and we're going to talk about it. U.S. dollar hits 4-year low. Don't care who you voted for. When it comes to money, I'm independent. When it comes to money, don't care. Just 4-year low. What does that mean? Why did it happen? What I will talk about it. And then 90-day playbook to scale your business. And this is going to be a walkthrough with you guys on something that I've created for you guys. So we're going to be doing a series on how to grow and scale your business in the next 90 days. If you didn't start it in January, you can start it in February. If you didn't start it in January, you can start it in February. But the next 90 days is going to be your best 90 days. Just follow along. So let's get into it. Disastrous rollout of the Trump-approved TikTok. So just to catch you guys up to speed, we only have 30 minutes. So I have to make this quick. But you know it's Ask Domnat. So if you have more questions, just ask me. What happened? Well, the American government decided, well, you know what? China might be collecting too much information on our citizens. I don't really hate it. I don't really care. What I post online is all public anyway. So, whatever. But so we're going to buy TikTok, the U.S.-based asset of TikTok, the consumer data, all of it. TikTok bought by USA, but not the government. Who? Well, they bought it by a private company controlled by Larry Ellison, some other billionaires, blah, blah, blah. Now, the whole rollout was supposed to just be, quiet. Everybody continues scrolling, nothing to see here. But guess what? When people started logging into the new servers controlled by American-based companies, controlled by, we're going to just say, government-allied supporters, they realized certain things weren't happening. Certain people's reach were not getting out there as much. If you were criticizing the president, your reach was not getting as much as it used to. Whoa, what happened there? If you were talking about ICE, obviously big topic, your reach was not getting as much as it used to. I don't care if you're white, black, Republican, Democrat, independent, or a freaking bird. If you want to chirp and other people want to listen, I believe you should. I don't have to agree with you. I don't even have to listen to you. I can scroll up. But when people are saying, wait, you know what? The reach is not getting there. Something's wrong. And then comes the big one. So you couldn't criticize the president as much this weekend, allegedly. And remember, people, this is all alleged. You couldn't criticize certain words. And then people said, wait, I can't even type the word Epstein in the search. Whoa. The word Epstein wasn't coming in the search anymore. Well, TikTok said, well, you know what? We had power outages around the country. That's why some of these things weren't working. We fixed it. We've resolved it. Power outages. I mean, I don't know if there's an Epstein server somewhere that went down, right? Like you can't type it. Weird. But In an Ask Domnet exclusive, I had to get answers. I said, well, people aren't being able to write certain things, aren't being able to criticize certain people, aren't being able to criticize certain organizations. It seems like we are being, dare I say it, censored. So, fortunately, in the miracle of technology, we decided, let's go get an interview. The guy at the top, Adam Presser.
The change to Zionist.
What we did, we ended up getting an interview digitally with the help of technology and my producer of Adam Presser. So welcome, Adam Presser. Let's get right into it. Adam, we're being criticized. TikTok. I'm on the home team here. The word Zionist is not being received well on TikTok. New TikTok. Is Zionist hate speech? What's going on there? Can people use it?
We made a change to designate the use of the term Zionist as a proxy for a protected attribute as hate speech.
Whoa, okay, so now Zionist, guys, hate speech. Just new, learn that on Ask Domnet. So nobody can use that word Zionist hate speech, correct, Adam? I mean, nobody, there's a lot of people that say that they're proud Zionists, though, so they're going to get censored too.
So if somebody were to use Zionist, of course you can use it in the sense of you're a proud Zionist, but if you're using it in the context of degrading somebody, calling somebody a Zionist as a dirty name, then that gets designated as hate speech to be moderated against.
Whoa, okay, breaking news. Thank you for clearing that up. I don't know that it's very clear to us, though. It's hate speech sometimes, maybe not hate speech other times, but I'm not even touching that. But the problem is that Twitter, and we're having a little camera issue here, Adam, but Twitter was banning people earlier on, and Elon bought Twitter because of this, right? So is the conversation going to be the same for TikTok?
To be moderated against. Over the course of 2024, we tripled the amount of accounts that we were banning for hateful activity. We also...
Whoa, okay, Adam. So you guys are banning accounts for hateful activity. Where are you getting these sources from? Who's telling you? Is this everybody? This community notes like Reddit?
Also have, I think, over 24 Jewish organizations that are constantly feeding us intelligence and information when they spot violative trends.
Okay, Adam. Okay, the last question here. You're being too grateful with your time. So, okay, organizations giving you feedback. Where is the finish line? Where is the finish line? Is there such a thing as an end game in all this banning and censorship?
There is no finish line. There's no finish line to moderating hate speech, identifying hateful trends, trying to keep the platform safe. There's no such thing as an end game.
Okay. Adam Presser, new CEO of TikTok. Thank you. Do you have it there, folks? TikTok is being criticized for possibly censorship. We don't know what that really looks like at the end, but this is the Ask Domnet show, so I want you to come out of here with some value, not just complain. What does this mean for you? Well, there are a lot of things that this might mean. It might mean that your day goes on as normal and it doesn't matter. It might mean that you figure out a void that you can fill. There are more applications that are getting more and more downloads, getting more activity. Do I think TikTok is going anywhere? Absolutely not. Do I think it's going to continue to grow and scale? Probably. The best way to grow and scale TikTok is if these billionaires probably just start paying creators more. That it's a proven concept that if your content starts going viral, you start making more money on the platform, you start tending to forget the ideology and policies of these platforms. So do I think there's going to throw more money behind it to sweep it all under the rug? I absolutely do. There's going to be a lot of dollars going to it, and I don't know how that's going to affect the growth of TikTok, but as of this weekend, it was disastrous. Let's go to the next one. This US dollar. Why is the dollar hit a 4-year low and could fall further? If you've been keeping up with global news, guys, we're going to make this one quick. But the US dollar has dropped 4% in the less than a month. 4% in the last month. So let me explain to you guys what that means. What when it says when it dropped. The US dollar typically trades against other currencies, the pound, the euro, the yen, which isn't doing great. But it trades against other currencies. But the US dollar as the global reserve currency means one very important thing. It means that other countries, when they're interacting with each other, they pay in dollars. If I am China and I'm buying something from Nicaragua, right? They have the Chinese yen, and Nicaragua has the pesos, whatever. They're paying in dollars. Why does this help the U.S.? Well, it helps the U.S. because both countries have to buy dollars now to interact with each other. And why do people use the dollar? Because it's been seen as the most stable currency in the world over the last several decades. People love stability. U.S. isn't going anywhere. They're paying their debts. This dollar isn't subject to imagine. Like you see all these like crazy revolutions. We have protests here in the country. Yes, we do. Other countries have coups and revolutions. Governments topple. Hyperinflation. We haven't experienced that, at least not since the Civil War. I mean, now we've had depressions, we've had recessions, but for the most part, the dollar has maintained a stable asset. But what happens when there's uncertainty? Well, people aren't buying the dollar as much. They buy other alternative resources. They buy gold, silver to hold. Wait a minute. So the price of gold and silver has absolutely skyrocketed this year. Absolutely skyrocketed. Almost doubled, I think, in some cases. More than the dollar has. So if people aren't investing in buying the dollar, they're buying gold and silver, well, that takes a hit. And then what else has happened? Well, all the issues with geopolitics this year has made some countries really think, well, do we want to tie ourselves so closely with the United States economically if they're going to tariff us, if they're going to take us over in some capacity? So China, along with other countries, decided, well, why don't we just pay each other in our own currencies? We don't have to go buy dollars to pay each other. We don't have to trade our currencies and buy treasury bonds to do business amongst each other. So the demand for dollars dropped further because the stability is not there. The relationship is not there. Lastly, what's really driving this also is these countries, and granted, the U.S. has been carrying a lot of these countries. They have these countries in Europe and in Asia and all around the world, Africa, have not been doing a good job in maintaining autonomous markets and ecosystems. They all depend on the United States of America. All of them. They all depend on the U.S. taxpayer. But we also depend on them. It's not a one-way street, folks. We can't say we're all high and mighty. We use our dollars to buy stuff, and we buy a lot of it. We buy, look, what's on my desk? This trinket here. I bought this. I don't even need it. I thought I needed it. It was the wrong piece. But it was more of a headache for me to return it to me just keep it here. Consumerism, people. I can't tell you how many of these bad boys I got. It's a measuring tape, 25-footer. Boom. Bought it. Probably made in China or Peru, Vietnam, something. Paid in dollars. When you don't consume stuff, other countries don't get your dollars. When we overconsume, they get more and more dollars. When we make it harder to buy from those countries, then our dollar value to them starts declining. It's a paradox of, do we send more money abroad, but that means that we're buying more stuff abroad, making their dependency on our money greater. But who wins there? Rich cats in Wall Street who have a lot of dollar reserves. Who loses? Well, the factory worker that would have made this trinket here because it's cheaper to buy it overseas. The ultimate nail in the coffin was when, well, I can't even say nail in the coffin. The dollar's still here, people. I'm not an alarmist, all right? But it's taken a hit. Gold price skyrocketed, so people are buying more gold. People are now trading in other reserves and currencies. And the pension funds for other countries, like what is it? Who did I see? It was in Amsterdam. So Denmark, we're trying to take their little sovereign piece of slice of Greenland away. They decided, well, instead of buying treasury bonds with our pension funds money, with our teacher, like we're not going to buy US treasury bonds, we're going to invest in our own country. Whoa. So now we're seeing less bonds being bought. All of this means that the dollar is slowly and steadily declining. What does that mean for you? How does this affect you? Well, there's a couple things. I saw that we have a new Fed chair being named here in a bit. Let me I forgot his name. Well, at least they're going to be voting on him. I think his name is Kevin something. I forgot his new Fed chair. But whatever. Look Kevin Warsh. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a Trump guy. He loves to reduce interest rates. So Trump wants interest rates reduced. What does that mean? It means that borrowing dollars is going to be cheaper here in a bit. So what does that all mean for you? What does that mean for the weakening dollar? It means, in my opinion, that you stockpile as much as you can. You just save your money, but save it. Stop consuming so much. Stop buying so much because your money overseas is not as valuable. Things are getting more expensive. Save your money and get ready to invest heavily, probably by the end of the year, because the interest rates are going to be lower, expectedly. Borrowing money is going to be cheaper, and you're going to be able to now take advantage of this dip. People are selling off. But mid-year, I'm not even talking about end of the year. That's a really far out projection. But mid-year, here in the next 2, 3, 4 months, you should be looking at some investments, whether that's in the ETFs, real estate, possibly if you're going to go with long-term mortgages. There are going to be some opportunities to really buy the dips. That's what I think is going to really drive some of the investment cycles this year, the lower interest rates. Now, why is that really important? Because also, just instead of just a last tangent here, when companies notice that interest rates are lower, when banks realize interest rates are lower, guess what? They don't invest in lending as much money to people. They start buying up assets other places because they say, okay, I could only get 2% investing to this guy because the interest rates are 2, 3, 4%. Maybe lower than 4%. Why don't I go make something somewhere else? So it opens the pool, really. It's a complicated web of interest and derivatives, but it opens the opportunity and ability for you to invest. And I expect that by June, we're going to see some amazing market corrections starting to take place. Now, instead of waiting for June to get your business off the ground, why don't you start it now? How can you invest right now to make money? I want you to be rich. I want you to be happy, but I want you to be rich and happy. If you could be rich and happy, that'll make me happy. How can I help you get rich? Whatever that might mean for you. It's not just money. It's purpose. If you have a purpose that I can help you find, I'll do it. If you have a purpose that you love and you want to reach other people with that purpose, let me help you do that. And if you can make money off that purpose, then we call it a business. So let's figure out the first 90 days of your business. Guys, on Friday, I have something so special for you guys that it's crazy. I can't say it too early, but Friday's show, please tune in. If you have a grandma, an auntie, a mom, a brother, a sister, if you have anybody that you truly love, tell them to tune in for Friday's show. If you have anybody in your circle that is a business entrepreneur, who is an investor that wants to get started or scale, tell them to tune in for Friday's show. We will be rolling out something for Friday that I really think is going to help you out. Let's get back to this first 90 days. This is me teasing a little bit of it. A lot of people don't know what to do when they start their business. So I created this workbook. Let me scroll here. It's going to be available for y'all. I put together a whole work plan for you guys for the first 90 days of your business. It breaks it down by week, every week. But I'm just teasing it. Can't show you everything. That's for a later date. But let me go over some of it with you today. The first 90 days of your business. Now, I don't care if your business is 10 years old. The next 90 days, you can start this. I don't care where you at. Start it. The first 90 days determine whether you're building a real business or just playing entrepreneur. This workbook focuses on 3 things that actually matter: getting customers, validating assumptions, and building repeatable processes. So let's get some of this. I only got so much time with you guys while you guys go out and get ready for work, get ready to conquer whatever it is that your day brings. So what do I want to go over right now with you guys? So the days 1 through 30, validate your business model and acquire your first 5 to 10 customers. Customers, guys. Right? Customer conversions, conversations over building. Spending 60% of your time talking to potential customers, not building in isolation. I've made these mistakes. That's why I can speak to them. What makes me qualified to give you guys some advice, call it that. This isn't legal or business or tax advice. Don't sue me. But I can just tell you what my experience has been. I've built a technology company. I've ran restaurants. I've owned real estate. I've owned now this media project. I'll call it that. I've built apps. Now run a farm. Serial entrepreneur is in my blood. And I've failed, but I've also succeeded. Am I where I want to be? Not yet, but I'm getting there. So instead of me waiting to get there and then sharing what I've learned, I'm sharing it now. And you guys take it, use it for what you want, use it for how it serves you, but get started. So let's talk about the building in isolation. Let's talk about this first 30 days. So what are you going to get with this workbook? You see, it's just filled with information. The first thing that I want you guys to do is start highlighting what it is, the foundation of your business. What do you guys do? What problem are you solving? If you're in the chat, comment what problem you're solving. If you're seeing this later on, comment what problem is your business solving and be specific. Look at this. I give you an example here. Small dental practices spend 15 plus hours per month on manual patient scheduling, leading to errors and no-shows that cost $5,000 to $10,000 monthly. Now, why did I put that? Oh, I've had dental clients. I've had dentist office as clients, and we've solved problems like this. So if I can offer a solution at $1,000 a month, if I can offer a solution at $2,000 a month, it's a no-brainer for a client. So be specific with your problem. You're not if you're a baker, what does your business do? What problem you're solving? You're not selling cupcakes. No. You're selling an experience, an edible experience and delight for patrons that traverse this area at certain times, go into the business district, that don't have an opportunity to stop and grab their breakfast, lunch, or whatever while they're working, while they're out on their hikes or their jog. You want to give them a reprieve from the mundane food that's around. Who is your ideal customer? Be very specific, folks. Who was your ideal customer? I want to go over this with you guys. I want to be so specific that you know when you see them, you're going to say, out of these 10 people, that person right there, that business, that person is my ideal customer. I've spent so much time talking to any and everybody that it's almost been a waste of time. I've learned a lot, so I've taken it for what it's worth. But when you don't know your ideal customer, you're almost doomed to fail. What's your solution in one sentence? We start getting into elevator pitches. When I talk to people about their business, I can't tell you how many people have me on the phone for 5 to 10 minutes telling me about their business and what they do. And at the end of it, when they finally take a breath, I say, wait, what do you do? If that's you, you're not growing. And you're not going to grow. Don't be delusional. If you can't tell somebody in one sentence what it is that you do, you have a problem. But I have a solution for you. How will you make money? What's your pricing? I just had this weekend. Somebody reached out to me from my technology company. Hey, Dom, I need this, and that. A service, a client that I worked with for a long time. Hey, Dom, can you help me with this, and that? I lamented because I said, yeah, of course I want to, but I don't have a price for that anymore. I don't have a pricing module. So do I say no? Do I just wing it and figure out the price? Do I spend 30, 40, 50 minutes on the phone talking about a solution for free that realistically I should be charging for? What's your current financial runway? How long can you sustain? And you need to invest. Some people don't have businesses. They have self-proclaimed jobs, right? Like, how long can you operate? What is your goal? Let's go. Your 90-day goals. How many customers do you want by 90 days? What's the total revenue that you want? And we're not just making random numbers up. We want to be based on fact. We want to be based on what we saw from the above reference information. What's your learning goals? What key assumptions are you making from your goals? Let's see it. System goals. Now, here, guys, here's where I'm going to leave you. Here's where I'm going to leave you, because I want you to have access to this checklist. If you want access to this checklist, if you want access to this entire workbook to start week 1, the research sprint, look at everything that we're going to be working through, let me know. Comment the word business. I will give you access to it. I will provide you access to the first 90-day business growth workbook. But you got to comment the word business. You got to let me know that you want it. And once we do that, I will be going over this entire workbook with you. I'll be going over it with you with my business. I'll be showing you my answers, complete transparency. And if you want that, if you want to scale your business, if you want to grow, just comment the word workbook, comment the word business. Let me know that you're in it, and we'll grow together. But until then, I'll see you at the next Ask Dom Nat show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern to make you an overall more informed person. My name is Dominique Pereira, but you might know me as Ask Dom Nat.